right, guys, here we are. I'm coming to you from a totally different place. This is my dining room, and I just needed to get out of the office. I needed to be down on the main floor. I said that in the last video too, if you saw it. But so this is an intro to our worksheet and our sort of challenge for this quarter, Subtle Potency 23, February to April 10th of 2026. All right, so late winter. So, all right, here is the plan. I got inspired, as you know, from my yoga book of herbs. And I have found that it is just really bringing me just comfort to be in study mode about nature and rhythms of nature and laws of nature and plants and how much they help us and really help us in so many different ways. And so, what we're going to do is we're going back to the habits. We're going to use those as a foundation, which we're always there, but we're really going to kind of try to make sure we kind of dial in again and focus on that. And hopefully I don't get disturbed by someone moving around. I'll have to stop if I do. Anyway, I apologize if that happens. So I made this document. Okay, so here you are. You can see it. Where are the plants in my life? And I've kind of added like habit one, and my choice was fennel this time. All right, so first question is just to kind of give you a layout of this. In my habit of, and then you fill in whatever week it is. So print off if you want, print 10 of these off, one for each week. This is your sort of your challenge. Last time it was the tongue challenge. This time we're doing kind of sleuthing out and learning and enriching our life about, how plants are supporting us. So in my habit of earlier, later dinner, I found plants in. And so then I just listed, for example, my food, my post-digestive aids, pre-digestive aids, eating my fruit before the meal, my evenings after dinner, having chamomile tea or ginger, turmeric, almond milk with a golden milk, things like that. So those are just sort of to give you an idea. So, like I told the ladies today, each habit's going to be different. Like earlier, later, dinner, plant-based diet, those are going to be super easy to find the plants in your life. But when you get to different ones like bedtime, where are plants in my early to bed routine? Where are plants in my start the day right? Where are plants in my self massage? It's a tricky one, but not. So anyway, each week you'll sort of be challenged to contemplate like where are plants in my life? And you'll be surprised, hopefully, how they are around you more than you realize. And so at the top of the thing, it says we can do spices, teas, herbs, essential oils count, veggies, fruits, breads, pasta, where else? And so I'm not going to give you any clues. I'm going to see what you can come up with when we hit certain habits. And it was kind of cool because I had to really think about it when I was coming up with this challenge for us. I went through every single habit to make sure I could find plants in every single habit. So they are there. You'll have to find them yourself. If you need any help, you're really struggling, let me know. I'll give you some clues. All right, number two, the plants I found. So I just started listing things: ginger, lemon, in earlier, later dinner. Ginger, lemon, limes, peppers, fennel, spinach, berries, rice, pasta, wheat pasta, that kind of thing. Okay, so then you have to choose. Number three, the one plant I want to learn more about this week is mine was fennel. All right. There's a reason that I chose that too. So, what I am challenging myself to do with this as well, I have some people who buy essential oils from me, and I've always like, how do I teach them about what the oils they got are? And so doTERRA has a set of 10 oils. They're like the top 10 oils. And so what I'm going to do is double duty here. When I'm studying a plant that I have in my life, I'm going to also study that one of the oils, the essential oils that goes with that. And so I went through my 10 habits when I was preparing this lesson for the quarter and really just assigned, each one of those 10, that set of the top 10 essential oils for a family, and I chose which one went with what. All right, so for this one, so I've got Digest Zen. So this is one of the main ones that's top used. And it's got fennel in it because it's a digestive aid. These are digestive aids. This fits into my life in that every night before I go to bed or after I've had a meal, this is the roller ball, roll in my stomach, rub it in, and it really helps with digestion. Okay, so I'm a Vata, so I've got, generally speaking, more gas and bloating, and that really helps with that. By the way, that is tridoshic. Fennel seeds are tridoshic. So here's also something that I do, right? So I will, after dinner, I will just get the hot water pot going and then drop some of these, shake some of these into a little teapot or a teacup, pour my hot water over it, and then I sort of let it simmer a little bit. And then I just sip on that. And that's a digestive aid for after my meals. All right. So it really helps for me with me. So anyway, that's the one that I picked for this week. So what I'm also going to do is it's going to be in it's going to be in um, our subtle potency portal, the learning place. I'm hoping to get a little freebie section of like, these are the essential oils, the top 10 oils, and there'll be a little video about like the how to use each one. And it'll just help people who buy the oils from me have a place to go when they want to learn about it. So again, I'm kind of pulling double duty on this and thinking ahead. All right, so fennel, I told the ladies this today in class, but here are some things that I learned. All right, the one plant I want to learn more about is fennel. It helps with digestion, most the digestive system and the hormonal system. All right, for thousands of years, it was used for snake bites, to stave off hunger pains, to tone female reproductive systems, earaches, eye problems, kidney complaints, lung infections, expels worms, constipation, digestion, nausea, and obesity. It can also help babies who have colic. You can rub that with some oil on just straight fennel on the belly too. All right. It also stimulates the cardiovascular system. That was interesting to me because I'm having some heart weird stuff that I'm trying to understand. Um, and then a fun fact that I found was ancient Egyptians and Romans awarded garlands of fennel as praise to victorious warriors because fennel was believed to bestow strength, courage, longevity, purification. And that was like I talked to Helen and Kate today about like the aromatic benefits of a garland of like this fennel. All right. It also supports the liver and is stimulating for the sympathetic nervous system. And so that's all the stuff that I kind of wrote on there that I studied. Here's my little drawing of fennel, and here's my little drawing of digest zen. So I'm right next to my kitchen. So on my kitchen wall, when we first moved in here, I loved chalkboards. And so we have this wall that had really a little bit of space on it. I had someone design a magnet chalkboard for us for that. So as we go through this quarter, I am already starting to like decorate by week the benefits of fennel. And so what that does is anybody in the kitchen at my family walks by and they get to learn along with me. So going public with it, right? We always talk about that as kind of an aid to not just keep it to ourselves, but to share it. So I hope that gives you an idea of what I'm thinking. You don't have to draw it if you don't want to. You don't have to paint any of that kind of stuff. That's an option for you if you want to create a piece of writing that's beautiful about it. If you want to create a poem, if you want to create an earth mandala, really a collage, anything. So this really isn't asking you to be a good drawing person. It's really just asking you to like get creative. Like, what other creative way with my hands can I honor this plant or just be in relationship with this plant in a different way than just reading about it or cooking it or using it. So that Helen, you gave me a book years ago. It was sense organs. And there was a section in there in the back, which I'll find now and I'll go read at some point to you guys. But it really talked about the power of art to really engage all the senses. So we're going to add that in there. And that's also part of our creative expression, our habit 11 that we're adding in here because we already kind of do this a little bit, right? We do a lot of writing, we do a lot of journaling, we do some earth mandalas, we do spiral dynamics where we're drawing, we change colors of pens and pencils or whatever like that. So we are starting to incorporate more and more artistic stuff. And I want us to kind of push that creative expression piece in whatever way you want to. All right, I'm going to wrap up here because I hear some people coming. But FYI, this is a little bin. I've showed this before. This just has this is from having kids all those years. I just grabbed one of the old little crates and put all the pencils and stuff in there. I keep that close by so there's markers and ruler and pencils and stuff like that and markers. So you can just bring something like that to your area where you work, or maybe you've already got it and you just haven't used it in a while. Pull it back out. Um, yeah, so really just an invitation to get creative. Another option um is what I found myself doing too is like, where am I going to learn about this? Like, where am I going to pull my resources for information from this? And so I started walking around my house to all my bookshelves and finding books on plants. And so it turns out I've got quite a few. You can kind of see in the background my stack is started. It's pretty big. And so yeah, just really like looking to like pull things that you might already have in your house together, and let's kind of just have fun with it. All right. So hopefully that helps. Again, reach out if you have any trouble with printing off this document. Also, remember that um, if you'd like, let's see where, oh, making lots of noise. Again, back to a sketchbook. You can also just do this in a sketchbook. So I think I already mentioned in the last video, if you were watching it, I've got this sketchbook that's like, it's 5.5 by 8.5. So it's kind of a nice size. And guess what? It like fits perfectly with my Yoga of Herbs book. So I've been walking around with this and just taking it everywhere with me. It's been my journal. It's been my gratitude at the end of the day. It's been thoughts that I have in the middle of the night. And now it's holding studies that I do on the plants. So, like I said, just to round it out, for me, in these crazy times, I'm finding that studying and learning about the earth and humanity and consciousness and plants and laws of nature and all that kind of stuff, it's really helping me to ground. It's helping me to feel more calm in this chaotic world that we're in with all the bad news that's already always going around. Um, Instead of being on my phone and getting, like information from my phone, I'm in fact going back to my books and just reading and learning, and it just grounds me. It really does. And I realized too that the last time I had this book out, and I think even when I bought it was during COVID. Remember how chaotic the times were then. And I really found that just learning and growing my knowledge base in a really holistic way was made me feel way better than like watching the news. So anyway, that's just a kind of a wrap up. Get creative with it. I'm giving you my example of how I'm applying it. You do what you want to do, and then we're going to learn so much. Helen already brought this morning to class. She was studying the sweet potato, and I'll give you one takeaway from that since we didn't get it on recording. But she talked about some people will have take cucumber slices and put it under their eyes to cool them and to like reduce eye bags under your eyes. Helen read in her studies that you could do the same thing with a cooked sweet potato that's been in the fridge, and this is how I imagined it, and then you take that and you lay that across your eyes, and that's got a really beneficial effect for the beta carotene, I think she said, is what's helping the bags under the eyes. So really fun stuff. And I think in her study, she even learned just in a little bit that she did, she learned something that she could help a friend with, someone who had just had surgery. So anyway, again, these studies were looking to like expand how do we learn ourselves and expand the beauty beyond ourselves to people that we know and love. All right. Hope that's good enough. And we'll talk soon. All right. See you guys.